Imagine a sound.
How these destructive forces can, in a matter of minutes, wipe a town off the map.
A sound so deep and guttural, it's not just heard, but felt in your very bones. A sound that some have described as a freight train, 1,000 of them all at once, right outside your window. Now imagine that sound is the last thing you ever hear. For thousands of Americans throughout history, this wasn't a nightmare. It was the terrifying reality of a force of nature so powerful, it can literally wipe a town off the map in a matter of minutes. Welcome to TSF History. We're your guides into the past, uncovering the stories that time has tried to forget. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next journey into history. Today, we're delving into a chapter of American history that is both terrifying and humbling. We're talking about the deadliest tornadoes to ever tear across the nation. These aren't just stories of storms, they are chronicles of survival, loss, and the sheer untamable power of nature. Our story begins on a seemingly ordinary day, March 18, 1925. The weather forecast was normal. People went about their day, children were in school, and families were preparing for dinner. There were no tornado watches, no warnings, no advanced technology to alert them to the monster that was brewing. Around 1 p.m. in Ellington, Missouri, the sky began to turn a sickly greenish black. What followed was a tornado of unprecedented scale and ferocity. The tri-state tornado, as it would come to be known, was a beast, an EF5, the highest possible rating, with winds exceeding 300 miles per hour. For the next 3.5 hours, it carved a 219-mile path of destruction across 3 states. It moved with a horrifying speed, an average of 62 miles per hour and at times reaching 73. Towns were not just damaged, they were obliterated. Gorham, DeSoto, Murfreesboro, entire communities reduced to splinters and rubble. In Murfreesboro, 234 people lost their lives, the highest death toll for a single community from a tornado in U.S. history. The air was thick, and the roar, it was a constant, deafening roar. I remember my mother grabbing me, her face pale with a terror I had never seen before. We huddled in the cellar, and the house above us was just gone. The sound of nails being pulled from wood, glass shattering, and then a grotesque moaning sound that I can only describe as evil. When the tornado finally dissipated near Petersburg, Indiana, it left behind a staggering toll. 695 people dead, more than 2,000 injured, and 15,000 homes destroyed. The tri-state tornado remains the deadliest single tornado in American history. A chilling reminder of a time when the sky could turn on you without any warning. But the story of America's deadliest tornadoes doesn't start or end in the 20th century. Long before the tri-state tornado, a different kind of horror unfolded in the Deep South. On May 7, 1840, a massive tornado formed southwest of Natchez, Mississippi. This wasn't just a land-based terror. The Great Natchez Tornado followed the path of the mighty Mississippi River. At that time, the river was a bustling highway of commerce filled with flatboats carrying goods and people. The tornado, a mile wide, churned the water into a frenzy, tossing the boats like toys. Of the 120 flatboats docked at Natchez that day, 116 were ripped from their moorings and thrown into the river, their crews and passengers dragged to a watery grave. On land, the town of Natchez was also devastated. but the official death toll of 317 is a hauntingly incomplete figure. In the pre-Civil War South, the lives of slaves were often not counted in official records. It's estimated that hundreds more enslaved people on the plantations in the tornado's path also perished, their stories lost to history. The Great Notches tornado is officially the second deadliest in U.S. history, but the true number of victims will never be known. Nearly a century later, in the midst of the Great Depression, another deadly outbreak of tornadoes swept through the Southeast. On April 5th and 6th, 1936, a series of powerful twisters left a trail of death and destruction. One of the hardest-hit cities was Tupelo, Mississippi. The Tupelo tornado, an EF5, leveled 48 city blocks and killed 216 people. Entire families were wiped out in an instant. A 1-year-old boy and his mother were among the survivors, narrowly escaping the storm's wrath. That little boy's name was Elvis. The very next day, the same storm system spawned a double tornado that descended on Gainesville, Georgia. The twister struck the Cooper Pants factory with unimaginable force, causing the building to collapse and burst into flames. 70 workers were killed, the highest death toll in a single building from a tornado in U.S. history. The 2-day outbreak claimed a total of 454 lives.
You might think that with modern technology, with Doppler radar and advanced warning systems, the era of such devastating tornadoes is behind us. But as recently as 2011, we were given a brutal reminder of nature's power. On May 22nd, the city of Joplin, Missouri was struck by a catastrophic EF5 multi-vortex tornado. The tornado was nearly a mile wide, with winds over 200 miles per hour. It stayed on the ground for 38 minutes, cutting a 6-mile-long scar through the heart of the city. More than 75% of Joplin was affected. St. John's Regional Medical Center was hit directly, the massive building twisted and torn apart. I was in my car, and suddenly the world turned into a chaotic swirl of debris. I felt the car lift, and I was sucked out. I was flying inside the tornado. I saw my life flash before my eyes before I landed on the ground. I shouldn't be alive. This survivor, Stephen Wiersing, was dubbed Miracle Boy. He not only survived being thrown by the tornado, but also a rare and deadly fungal infection he contracted from his injuries. His story is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable horror. The Joplin tornado claimed 161 lives and caused nearly $3 billion in damage, making it the costliest tornado in U.S. history. It was a stark reminder that even with our modern advancements, we are still vulnerable to the awesome and terrifying power of nature. From the unworn devastation of the tri-state tornado to the forgotten victims of Notches, the heart-wrenching losses in Tupelo and Gainesville, and the modern-day destruction in Joplin, these stories are more than just historical events. They are etched into the American landscape, in the memories of those who survived, and in the towns that were forever changed. These stories remind us of the fragility of life, the importance of community, and the enduring power of the human will to rebuild and remember. What do you think is the most shocking part of these stories? Do you have any personal experiences with extreme weather? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And if you found this journey into history as compelling as we did, please give this video a like and don't forget to subscribe to TSF History for more stories from our past. Thanks for watching.